Once upon a time, I took a fully commissioned job. Let's get into it. Okay, so I took a fully commissioned sales job because I was moving cities, like different time zone. Okay, I was moving cities and I needed about 3 months to pack my stuff, register my daughter in school, get a lease, things like that. I couldn't really do all of that and go in person. So because my job was in person, which by the way, I completely and utterly and totally loved. I still love it, but I don't work there anymore. So as I was working, I didn't want to not have a job in the 3 months that I'm preparing to move and everything, but obviously it couldn't be an in-person job. It had to be a remote job. So this was me now looking for a remote job. At some point, I think I started also applying to jobs in the city that I was moving to, which is the city now. And I realized okay, so here's the thing. My thought process was I can stay without a job for 3 months and just leave on my savings if I know that I had a job waiting for me immediately I moved to the city. Okay, so it was one of two options. The first option was get a remote job, work, pack, you move to this new city, and then you keep working the job. All good. Or don't have a job for the 3 months, but the moment you get to this city, you have to start working and start earning money. So those were my two options. So I was doing both, looking for a remote job, but not really putting too much energy into it because most of the ones that I was seeing were very scammy. So I was looking for in-person jobs in the city, and when the recruiters, and this happened like 3 times, when the recruiters realized that I was not in the city at the time, they literally just all ghosted me, which is very rude. And I started getting confused because I know people that moved cities and they were not in the city when they applied, and the recruiters knew, and or maybe they didn't know, I don't know. Anyways, I don't really know how other people did it, but I know people who had jobs secured before they moved. And so I'm like, okay, maybe my luck is just bad, I don't know. So after the experience where the 3 recruiters ghosted me, I'm like, okay, I don't want to keep wasting my time. I'll just start applying for in-person jobs when I get there. In the meantime, in the event that I don't, let me start looking for a remote job so that I have something when I get there, and then, we'll work it out from there. So I started putting in a little bit more attention to the remote job search. So I got a response from this particular company. Let's call it ABC company, right? I got an invitation to come for a first meeting or whatever. I'm like, please just don't even. If it's a job, it's a job. If it's not, don't. You know what I mean? I don't know. It just felt not important to even give a second thought. So the time for me to quit my job at my former workplace was coming close. I think I had just 3 weeks. So I'm like, oh God, I need to get something. I'm packing another invite from the ABC company, and I'm just like, oh my God. First red flag, okay? Legitimate jobs don't beg people like this. Ugh, too beggy. Anyways, so I clicked it. I'm like, you know what? You can't deceive me. If it's something that I watch and I see that it's dumb, I'm not going to do it. So let me just give it a chance. Watch it. If it's stupid, it's gone. If it's not, then good. So I get on the meeting and they're talking about what the entire job entails. It's sales, basically. It's fucking sales. And then in order to participate, in order to work in that job, you have to get a license. Okay, so that was the first thing that made it a little bit legitimate for me. I'm like, okay, so I need a license. This license, it was not cheap and it was not easy to get, brain work, right? You had to read a couple of different modules to different courses to actually write the exam and pass. There were actually 5 exams. So 4 were online, pass those, and then you're able to pass the state exam itself, the main one. And once you pass that main state exam, then you can then submit your result and then get your license. I did all of that. By the time I got my license, I had already quit my job where I was working. So before you start actually selling the product, you have to go for classes, basically, for I think a week, if I'm not mistaken. I think a week you go for classes. They teach you the different aspects of the service or the product, how to sell it to people, and everything was online. Yes, again, remote job, right? Guys, okay, so the first thing is, I'm just gonna say what it is. It's life insurance. It's life insurance, okay? And for me, what I didn't like immediately, like when I started attending the classes, was that the way in which you're selling this insurance is very, I'm not gonna say sketchy, it's just a little bit, I don't know. If someone did that to me, I would be irritated. You know what I mean? Because the people that are coming there, the clients, they don't even know they're coming there to be sold insurance. And that's what I don't like. That was the first thing. I'm like, hey, listen, I'm a graduate. I don't need to do all this sketchy shit, you know, but I'm like, you know what? I've invested in this course. I've invested in the license. I've put my time and energy into this. Let me just, you know, see it a little bit further. See, like I have a license. I'm licensed. You know what I mean? Like, let me see it a little bit further. So I kept, you know, going for the classes, and they would teach you how to sell, you know, things like this. And the second thing that made me feel like it was, you know, worth giving it a try is that some of the people that gave those classes, so it's going to be different mentors giving classes on different aspects of things, right? Some of these mentors, they seemed like people that had a good head on their shoulder, people that have sense, people that are actually not stupid and wouldn't waste their time doing this thing if it wasn't giving them any money. So that was the second thing that made me say, okay, let me, you know, give this a chance. And side note, in hindsight, I don't think they were making any money, but let's just continue. So how the whole thing works is you sit down, you book an appointment with a client, and then they sit down with you you're in your place, they're in their workspace, home, whatever, and then you tell them about some things that they are entitled to from work, and then you then tell them, oh, hey, but it's not forever. Our product is forever, is this, is that, is that, but now you have to pay. So it's like they've come in here thinking they're getting free benefits or whatever, and now you've turned or you've switched it. Now you're asking them for money. Now you're asking them for all this information. I didn't like it at all. But I'm like, okay, you know what? Maybe it's a thing, whatever. Maybe I'm just too much. Maybe I'm doing too much. So that already was making me a little bit uncomfortable. So when you then sell it, when they buy, if they buy, you then get a cut, which was a really nice cut. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I will be very honest with you. Like, I feel like in a week, if you successfully get 4 people to register or whatever, get the insurance, you'll be a pretty comfortable person. You know what I mean? And that's what I liked about it. Let me just lay out all the things that were very stupid and all the things that just made me realize that this is all a joke. Guys, first of all, if anyone comes to you to tell you that you're going to be paid on a commission base, do you know what is commission based? Fully commission. Fully commission is if you don't sell, you get nothing. So all the work you're doing, everything you're doing leading up until you sell is a waste of time. So, I get it. You're a business owner, right? Good, that makes sense. But you dare not talk to me crazy when I'm working round the clock with nothing in my account. That's off the table. Don't do it. I think 3 stupid obstacles that made me say I'd rather be penniless than continue this nonsense. This rubbish. The first weirdo was my supervisor. So whoever hired you is now your supervisor, mentor, whatever, and they would like coach you, get you this, get you your badge, get you your number, just show you the ins and outs. You have like a couple of meetings with them, and then, you know, they'll shadow you when you're selling, things like that. So that's just how it is, right? My supervisor was a psychotic Neanderthal. It's like, if you're going to, there's a certain kind of attitude only intelligent people should have. There is a behavior that you don't get to have if you are not intelligent. I'm sorry. That's it. This crazy animal acted like she was nice and she was sweet and whatever. And I feel like when they know you've now invested so much, they relax. They relax because now they have you. And I didn't like that at all. Get up, do what you've said. You know what I mean? Like, come on, take this seriously. They hire like a bunch of people, a whole bunch of people, because mind you, turnover is high, okay? Because anybody with 2 brain cells would not waste their time doing that. Fully commission. Do you know what that is? Then on top of that, you have people talking to you crazy. I must be mad. One thing about the supervisor is anything that happens, like anything that happens is your fault. That is the thinking of a Neanderthal. That is the thinking of someone that is a low life. Let me give you an instance, and this is fake. This is just, I've made it up, but this is an example of exactly what can happen while working with this clown. You can be sitting in front with a client and showing them the products and whatever, and they tell you, I'm sorry, I cannot buy because I am dying tomorrow, so I don't need it. I'm going to be dead tomorrow, and I know this, and I'm telling you. And you'll be like, okay, sure, that's fine, bye. When you get off that call, this clown, this caricature would tell you that it is your fault that that client didn't buy. And this is my thing about fully commissioned jobs. It turns people into hungry bloodsuckers. People that don't think well. You can't think well when your livelihood, your rent, your mortgage, your feeding, everything is dependent on someone saying yes. There is no way you can think well. And that is why I think fully commissioned jobs should be banned. It shouldn't be a thing. If I knew someone was selling something to me, a car even, to me, fully commissioned, I would not believe a word what he tells me, because I know that if I say no, he cannot eat for that day. You know what I mean? So how can you really tell me anything in true honesty? But if I knew that you were getting something, regardless of whether I buy or not, you're not going to lie. Now you have to remember, if I'm fully commissioned, like I've said before, you can't talk to me crazy. It just doesn't happen. You don't have to. I don't need to do this, because either ways I wasn't getting paid. So how dare you? Okay, let's go to the second nonsense. Okay. The second weirdo that I encountered is one of the hungriest clowns that I was in a class with. So she started like a week before me. So I guess we were sort of like in the same group or whatever. So we'd have classes together and whatever. And over time we started talking, she would even text me sometimes. And sometimes I would text her if she's like missing. And we would practice with each other. We give each other like feedback, whatever. So I thought this person, had sense. Her supervisor was someone else. We didn't have the same supervisor. Her supervisor was this hungry ass individual that would wear a rumpled suit on her calls. If anybody is selling anything to me with a rumpled suit, I'm not answering. I'm not buying it. Sorry. That was her mentor. You could tell hunger. She was a hungry individual and desperate. She will be on a call with someone. If they say, I'm sorry, they can't buy it, the way she gets aggressive was a little bit scary. Desperate ass babe. She's desperate. When she's selling, you can just see the desperation reeking from her entire body. Anyways, so that was her supervisor. And so one day I was just telling her, I was like, you know what? Like we had started selling, and what happened? We hadn't even started selling. I hadn't even gotten to sell. All I know is I was done with the classes and they hadn't given me contacts. I'm like, I don't understand. What is this? It's not making any sense. How am I supposed to sell if you don't give me contacts? I don't even know if they had any contacts. Anyways, eventually I was telling her, I was like, this is annoying. They said they were going to give us contacts. I haven't gotten any contacts, so I'm not even selling to anyone. Like, I'm just literally not doing this anymore. Like, this is goodbye. Like, this is rubbish. It's nonsense. So I sort of like vented to her or whatever. Tell me why this dirty scoundrel went and reported me to her supervisor. That day, let's say I complained to her at 10 o'clock. By 3 o'clock, my supervisor was like, hey, let's go into a quick meeting. I got into the meeting, and this disgusting individual is telling me, so I heard that today you were telling XXX that this said everything. I said word for word. I said, yes, I said it. I don't understand. Like, what, is it bad? She said, you know, you're not supposed to tell agents that are learning or whatever. You're telling them that is like, remember what she said? She said you can complain to a supervisor or a mentor because they'll be able to encourage you, but there's no need telling whatever. I'm like, okay, when am I getting my contact since we're on the matter, because this is the problem. And then she's like, oh, we're going to be giving you tomorrow or whatever. She finally gave me the next day, can't remember, whatever. I start getting on calls. Nothing. It's not yielding anything. I mean, I'm not going to force you. If you listen to my presentation and everything and you don't think you need it, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? Start insulting your parents or what? Or threaten you? There's nothing I can do. But somehow it would always be my fault. It's because I said this. It's because I did that. It's because I didn't do that. I'm like, okay, get out of here. Like, please. Go, like, get out of here. I don't have time for this. The third weirdo is this person. I don't know whether she thought she was Cisco. Or I think she thinks she's related to Cisco. Remember Cisco that dyed his hair red or whatever? Has a low cut and has dyed her hair orange. You're already a clown. Immediately. You're a clown. And nothing you can say, and then the least you can do is to be rude to me. Now you've pissed me off. You don't get to do that. Not with that hair. Like, not with that look. No, you don't get to do that. So one time we're in a call, sometimes we do like group calls and we're like booking people or whatever. Let's say I wasn't supposed to give a time or something, and I was on the call and I gave a time, and she goes, like, this is just an example, I just hear one dirty bird in the background or something in the call saying, called my name, Eju, about what it was, but anyways, I was very rude, like straight up very rude. And she, right there and then, she started messaging all the managers saying that I'm a problem or something. And then again, my supervisor calls me after the thing and is like, oh, what happened or whatever. I'm like, what happened where? And then she told me that Cisco reported me in their group chat or whatever. And I'm like, what? That's crazy. I told her what happened, and I'm like, I would not let anyone disrespect me. I'm not getting paid for this. Please, at the back of my mind, it was always in my head, I'm not getting paid for this. I will be freaking damned if you speak to me crazy. It's impossible. It's impossible. So that was that. I didn't like her. I never, like, I made it very clear, me and you, never, ever. I did not like her, and I didn't hide it. And here's the thing is, at least if you were in a real job where they're paying you, you'll be a bit scared to misbehave because there would be consequences. What would be the consequences? You get fired and you won't get money anymore. But in this situation, I'm already not getting money. So on what grounds do you think that I would ever take her bullshit? That's where I was very confused. I'm like, on what? Explain to me the downside to disrespecting you. I'm already in the downside, so I might as well imagine the audacity. The fourth weirdo, and this was another, she wasn't a supervisor, she was just a girl, right? She had been there for like 2 months or whatever, so I was just asking her questions in that place. And this is how you know it's sketchy. You cannot ask questions. If you ask questions, you will be getting a call from your supervisor in 30 minutes. Imagine, it's weird. That is very odd. Anyways, so I was asking her, I was like, how many sales do you make in a month? She's like, oh, I asked her, how many sales have you made this month? She's like, 2. We're almost at the end of the month. I'm like, you made 2 sales? And I didn't even really believe her that she had made 2. I don't think she had made any sales in that month. So I asked her, like, how many sales have you made this month? And she's like, 2. I'm like, 2 in the whole month? She's like, yeah, it's a really slow month. I could tell she was very uncomfortable. And so I'm probing. I'm like, okay. I asked her another question, and I swear to you, she stopped answering. Like, deadass did not respond again, did not communicate. This is somebody that would ask me, hey, what's like, she would text me, reach out to me, oh, do you want to come practice, do you want to come do this, I can help you, I can act as a client, because they would do like role play type thing. Dead silence, no response, goodbye. I'm like, that's very odd. So because I'm asking questions, nothing. You see how they put in fear in these people? And it's so sad to me, because I think that these people don't have any other option. That's why they're just there. Maybe they don't have degrees, or maybe they don't have, I don't know. I just know that there's something that would make someone stay in that. And it's not a good thing. It's never anything that's a good situation. Because if you had other options, if you had things going well for you, you will never, ever put yourself in that type of situation, ever. The fifth weirdo was the supervisor of the weirdo number one. No, sorry, weirdo number one was my supervisor. Weirdo number two is the girl who reported me. Her supervisor is the weirdo number 5. She looked hungry. She looked like life has given her a beating, okay? And I think she just didn't like me because she could see that I wasn't desperate. She could see that this was not my all in all. This was not my only thing. And that's why, like, you can just tell when this is not someone's only option. Like, I'm sorry that that's your situation, but so anyways, so I could tell she just didn't like me, and I felt very bad for her, because I just could see she was very desperate. From watching herself, from watching the way she did her things, I just knew she was a very desperate individual. And so my heart did go out to her. But when I saw that she was trying to then be weird to me, like maybe ask me a question, I'm just like, you're weird. You're sad. You're a miserable woman. Go and look for love anywhere, because you're definitely not someone who gets love. Anyways, I also showed her that I don't care for you. I don't need to respect you. You have to earn my respect. Now, in saying all of this, there were like 2 or 3 people that I really respected there, and I don't understand what they're doing there. But I don't know, till today I feel like maybe they are getting paid something to continue to be there, so that people like us would see that, oh, see, this smart person, this person who has a head on her shoulders is here, and you know, it's working. So why would it be something that doesn't make sense, knowing that this person will never waste their time doing this? I think they're actually paying them something monthly to act as if they're actually selling anything. Because I'm telling you, there is no way people make their living based off of just shooting random blank shots thinking someone's going to buy life insurance. There's no way. I'm sorry. When I started selling, honestly, it was a nightmare, because I shared their sentiments, right? Like when they would be like, but this isn't what I came here for. You said I had this, and now you're telling me it costs this, blah, blah, blah. So how can you really defend that when you agree with them? My supervisor was very frustrated with me. She would just be weird, and I didn't like it at all. I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't digging it. In my head, I was like, I don't have to be here. And all those weirdos, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, with every one thing that happened, it made me feel like now I have to leave. Like, this is proof that this is nonsense. I'm not doing this. This was the straw that bent the camel's back, where I was like, I'm not coming back here. So I was on a call with a client, and I was talking to him, and his parents were on it, and we're vibing and we're talking, and he was like, yeah, his mom was asking questions. I was telling her about it. She was like, okay. So I'm doing my thing, and then I don't even know what happened. All of a sudden, this clown just jumps into my call. Now I'm seeing 3 people. I'm like, oh, hi. I cringe in such a way that you can hardly understand what she's saying. And she jumps into the call, and she starts fumbling, mumbling, saying nonsense. Like, how do I know she was intimidated? I don't even know what it is. I think she jumped into the call, and when she saw them, she got intimidated, and then she started stumbling upon her words, saying nonsense. Hi there, hello, and stay saying, so we do this, we do that. Now imagine you're in a call with a girl, you guys are talking, next thing someone just pops in and starts saying rubbish. What is this? the mom was like, you know what, we're just gonna go, like, we're like, this is weird, I'm sorry, who are you, where did you come from, blah blah blah, no. And she's like, she changed. This is a woman that was being sweet and so nice to me and very conversational and all that, and this idiot just jumps into the call. They're like, the call was done in 2 seconds. They shut it off. She told her son, shut it off. He shut it off. And then when they left, she's like, meeting room, whatever. And she was trying to pour the anger on me. I yelled at her. I said, not on your life. You will not. Do not talk to me like this. You jumped into the call. I don't understand why you did that. Of course, they were very, as I was talking to her, the son sent me a message. He was like, hey Uju, I'm so sorry, we just didn't understand what happened. We're asking questions about the thing, and next thing someone jumped into the call. Even you looked surprised because obviously it was weird and it wasn't supposed to happen. I'll go through everything you said and I'll get back to you, blah blah blah. But obviously he wasn't going to come back. Like, it was finished. Guys, I was done. I was fuming. I'm like, what kind of Neanderthal am I dealing with here? What kind of idiots am I dealing with here? I was pissed. I said, I'm not coming back. So eventually, another meeting with someone, and then I'm talking to them, going through everything, telling them this and that, this is what it is. They were like, oh, we just had a baby, we're on mat leave, like, we don't even have extra money for this and that. I was like, oh, that's okay, fine. If you have any questions on the free things that you got, let me know and I'll just email you everything. Is that fine? They were like, okay, thank you. I was like, okay, thank you, bye. I finished the call, and this clown, because obviously she had nothing else to say to blame me, I hear this idiot saying, because so she can't hear them, she can only hear me, this wretched lunatic saying, I don't understand, why were you telling them that you were going to explain anything to them? I'm like, goodbye. And that was it. That was all it was. She said, I don't understand, why are you why are you telling them you were going to explain to them? And I was like, I don't understand. You don't want me to explain to them what I just gave to them? How are they supposed to understand it if I'm not going to explain it, if they have any questions? And she was like, okay. And then she left. The next thing I did was delete my Zoom, delete the app that we used to show them the payments, whatever, deleted everything. I was like, goodbye. Goodbye. And so I went, you know, when you've just thrown something over your shoulder and you're like, I'm done. I leapt like a deep ass sleep, like relief, everything. And then I wake up to her in the group chat. You are wasting our time. You don't respect our time, or in all caps. I'm like, oh, I even forgot to leave this WhatsApp group. I didn't even say a word. I was like, this stupid Neanderthal has come to make noise. I just exited the group, delete. Went to the main one, exit, delete. Block, delete. I do not have time for the bullshit. Absolutely not. So that was the end of my stay, and that was my experience working in a fully commissioned job. With everything that I've done and I've seen and I've experienced, I'm gonna let you know now, if you ever hear someone say fully commissioned, and for those that don't understand, like I feel like I need to make this very clear. For those who don't understand, fully commissioned means if nobody buys, you get paid $0. You understand? That you can waste your time for 8 hours. That is fully commissioned. If anyone ever walks up to you and says, I have this job for you, it is fully commissioned, report them. It could be to the police. It could be to your parents. It could be to your siblings, to your friend. Report them. Let people know, because that is not okay. That should not be. Is it even legal? I don't know. That should never be a thing, ever. To make someone sit down. I can't even. No. Never take a job that's commission based. If it's sounding too good to be true, It's too good to be true. If it's sounding like, oh, you're going to make this much money, you're not going to make that much money. If you're in a call and you see someone telling you that they have this many sales, yet their suit is rumpled, they're not making any money. If you cannot ask questions in an organization, you're in a cult. If you cannot ask questions in an organization, you're fooling yourself. You're doing nonsense. You're in a place that has things to hide. You're wasting your time. Okay? If people are unnecessarily rude to you in a workplace, that is a hostile work environment, you don't have to be there. It's not allowed. It's not allowed. And that's how you know these things are not regulated. It's the sort of things that can even happen. That's how you know you're not in an organization. That's how you know you're not in anything that's ethical. It shouldn't be. But yeah, that's just my advice. That's just my 2 cents. That's what I think. And I hope that someone has learned. Please do not take a fully commissioned job. There should be at least a base pay, and that's how you know this is an organization. If they cannot afford to give you base pay, you cannot afford to work there, because you're going to be working for free. I promise. I mean it. I mean it. So yeah, okay. I hope you enjoyed my story time, and just for the record, I'm so glad to say that I finally moved to the city that I was planning to move to, and everything worked out great. I really don't know how people get real paying remote jobs. Mostly remote jobs are mostly for tech people. I might be wrong, but honestly, so yeah, for 3 months I was earning nothing, and I don't even know if I should get into this one again. I feel like this whole move has shown me that if you have a good job, thank God and thank your lucky stars, because I actually have another horror story about the job that I got when I got here. It was in person. Like, this one was just stupid. Like, it was a real paying job, but oh my God, the yearly pay, I don't even think that was legal. I don't think that is okay to offer someone. Oh my God. Okay, and then I actually, don't laugh. I actually took another insurance job. That one was a little bit more, I actually made one sale from that one, and that one was a little bit more sensible, but they wanted to draw your blood. Like, they were asking for too much for, again, working for free until I make a sale. You know what I mean? So honestly, I don't know whether I'm just not mature enough to operate that way. But however, this one was way better in the culture. They were civil. It was an actual workplace. It felt like a workplace, you know. No one could talk to you sideways ever. It's not possible. They're friendly, they're nice, they're sweet. It is a model that actually works. I like this one because the people have said, I want insurance. But the thing about this one is they've said, I want insurance to many people. So it's all of us like vying, like, who are you going to talk to first? So it's mostly people shopping around, and if you say the best thing out of all the other sales agents from other insurance companies, then they choose you. You know what I mean? So you see the possibility. You see that, yes, okay, this is something that could happen. And it happened for me. Like, I did sell, but it wasn't coming frequently enough for me to make a living off of it. Like, no. And again, I couldn't reconcile working for free. No. But I really wanted to work from home, though. I really wanted to work from home. I feel like that job would have been so perfect if they offer a base pay. That would have been amazing. That would be amazing, because the base pay plus the structure and the model and everything, beautiful. Like, absolutely amazing. I like that one because it was a little bit more natural. You're not using a fluent script. Like, there's prompts, but life is not a script. You can't do that. Like, that's not how life works. Are you dumb? Are you a robot? So why all the scripts just rubbish? That's how you know when you start explaining too much. You explain, no evidence. When you start explaining too much, that's how you know something is, it's not clicking. There's something is off. Okay, something is very much off. And then I have another one coming up, This one, I am going to be talking about the time where someone's fiance, yes, someone's fiance messaged me to stay away from her man. Just for the record, I didn't even know he had a girlfriend. I didn't know he had anybody, but yes, we'll get into it, and see you guys next time.